Om Shanti, and a very good morning to all. Today we are going to read the Murli dated 24th June 1971. The title of the Murli is Benefits of Being Introverted. Now in this Murli, Baba has listed down benefits of being an introvert, that is being an antarmukhi. In Hindi we say antarmukhi. Baba says that the more introvert you become, more you will be able to make new plans and make new inventions, discover new things. And also, if we try to figure out in this Murli, by reading, rather interpreting between the lines, Baba in a subtle way says that in spite of being an introvert, you have to be an extrovert. You have to remain cheerful and be an image of attraction. So these are quite opposite things, like being an introvert and then also being an extrovert at the same time. So Baba says that maintain a balance. And also towards the end, Baba mentions that being an introvert, if you are able to plan your activities well, that is activities for the mind, activities for the intellect, if you are able to do that well, then you will also be able to set yourself in that stage very well. Because if you are able to plan well, then you can also stabilize yourself in that stage, right? So let us read the Murli together. Baba says, when any invention is invented, then the more powerful the invention is, accordingly, it remains underground. This invention of all of you will also become more and more powerful day by day. So with the word invention, Baba means discovering new plans, right? For self-analysis, for self-progress. And underground, the word underground, I believe Baba refers to, allowing the mind to be in the silent stage. It means to allow the mind to be quiet and to be silent, right? So Baba says, just as those people create inventions underground, in the same way, you will also remain underground to the same extent. That is, you will remain introverted, and so you will be able to create new inventions and new plans. So there are several scientific inventions as well, that take place underground. And also, if you look at an example of an artist, or rather specifically a musician, so before creating or composing a new piece of music, they often prefer to stay in silence for some time, right? And that is because silence brings out the creativity in you, the best part, the best version of you. Silence is able to bring that out well. But their silence is just for time being. But our silence is for all time, right? It's forever. So Baba says, by remaining underground, firstly, you will be protected from the environment. And secondly, because you attain solitude, your power of churning increases. And thirdly, it becomes a method of safety from the obstacles created by Maya. So first, we will be protected from the environment. imagine that cocoon, that stage of silence will work like that of a cocoon, protecting the inner being. Secondly, Baba says that because you have attained that solitude, the power of your churning will also increase. And next, it also becomes a method of safety from Maya, right? Further, Baba says, you should constantly try to keep yourself underground, that is, remain introverted. All the activities can also take place underground. You can be introverted and carry out any task. So look at the usage of words, Baba's vocabulary. Firstly, he mentioned you have to be introverted. Then you have to make an invention. Somewhere just connecting the dots, that Baba's slightly taking us inside, within somewhere. Simply he wants us to go in, right? Very nice. So Baba says that you can be introverted and carry out any task. It isn't that you are not able to carry out certain tasks by remaining introverted. All tasks can be carried out, but by carrying out any task whilst being introverted, firstly, you will be protected from obstacles. Secondly, you will save time. And thirdly, you will be protected from other thoughts. That is, you will be able to save energy. So Baba added on to a few more benefits of being introverted. Baba says that you can save a lot of your time and a lot of your energy, right? And even you protect yourself from other thoughts. Other thoughts means waste thoughts, right? Because earlier also Baba mentioned that the power of churning increases. The power of churning increases. So ultimately, when you are just churning good thoughts, when you are churning Baba's versions, so we don't get wastage or we don't get waste thoughts at that time. The mind is busy churning something. Baba says, you have this practice, do you not? You even experience this now and again. When you speak after having been introverted, whilst you become extroverted, you will still remain introverted and also cheerful and the image that attracts. So these three things in this one sentence makes a lot of sense, right? See, introverted and extroverted, these are two opposite things, right? So if you just look into it slightly, maybe we can discuss it later on. But very beautifully, the Baba explained that you also have to be cheerful. You also have to be an image of attraction, that is Akarshan Murat. Many a times we believe that being introverted is just staying in silence. But then that silence should not be heavy. So yes, we can just churn on this and share maybe later. Baba says you have to practice this whilst performing action. Just as you make a program of physical activities, in the same way, every task is successful on time for those who have the practice of making a program for the intellect of the activity with which it has to engage itself and the tasks it has to carry out. So Baba says that just as you have a plan for your entire day, like you have a schedule for the entire day. So those are the physical activities. So Baba also says that you now need to make a program for the intellect as well. Because the intellect also has to be engaged in certain activities, certain practices, right? In the same way, you also have subtle activities. Now, see, earlier Baba mentioned about inventions, new inventions, that you have to sit with yourself and how you can practice, how you can be seated in a certain stage. And then also plan about these subtle activities. Baba also, always says that bringing in the new world, bringing in the golden age is quite subtle. The activities are quite subtle. Like in Hindi, Baba says that Vishwa Parivartan Suksham hai, right? Gupt hai. In Hindi, Baba says that it is all hidden. So if you just wonder, then linking to the same point, like Vishwa Parivartan agar Suksham hai, to Swa Parivartan bhi to Suksham hai, right? So Baba here has mentioned in those two words that in the same way, you also have subtle activities, right? That means the activities of self-analysis to bring about a change in the self, Swaparivartan. Further, Baba says, your intellect can go from one place to another in 1 second and come back again. Activities can be of great expansion. Now, if we take up a stage, or maybe if we take up a practice, like, supposing I like being in the stage of an angel, or that angelic stage. So Baba says that that can also be expanded, not merely just repeating the points, but then going into the depth, churning, going into the details of that practice. Only when you set a program will you be able to save time and attain greater success. Continue to make this program now and again, but let it be for all time. Just as you have developed the practice whilst carrying out physical activities, in the same way, you will develop this practice if you continue to do it. For this, you do not need to make special time. Even though you may be involved in physical activities which use your intellect a great deal, you can still set a program for your intellect. So Baba says that no matter how much involved you are in your physical work, in your physical activities, but you should use your intellect. You should have like a program for your intellect as well. And further, Baba says, how long does it take to set a program? Even 1 to 2 minutes is too long. So point for checking, right? That if you're taking quite some time to just only plan, then when are we going to actually execute it? So Baba says that even 1 to 2 minutes is too long, right? Baba points towards, like you have to create your program quickly and then bring it into action. You have to instill this practice. At Amrit Vela, you have to set a program for the activities that the intellect has to be engaged in. Now see, the soul has these 3 organs, right? The subtle organs, the mind, the intellect, and the sanskars, right? So often Baba has mentioned that, these are also your helpers. These are also they are there to help you, right? Just as in the golden age, we will have there will be like, there will be different emperors, but there will be also people with the king who will be there for support. The Karamchari we say, right? So ye man buddhi bhi, the mind and the intellect are also like these workers. So we shall just take as much benefit as possible, right? We shall allow them to work. We shall engage them in subtle activities, subtle practices for the day, right? Further, Baba says, just as programs are made and then you check whether you have carried out a particular task and to what extent it has been carried out and to what extent it hasn't been carried out. So in the same way, create this program and then check now and again, right? So, when we plan certain tasks for the day, we put like, a tick mark towards the end, yes, that this was achieved and this wasn't. So in the same way, while planning the activities for the intellect, Baba says that only planning is not enough. You even have to keep a check that where, to what extent were you able to carry out these activities, right? Further, Baba says, to the extent that a person is important, accordingly, he doesn't do anything without a program. He would not do whatever he just feels like. Sorry. To the extent that a person is important, accordingly, he doesn't do anything without a program. He would not do whatever he just feels like. Their every second is booked according to their program. You are also elevated souls, and so your program should also be set. Some have the art of making their programs, and some do not know how to do this. It is the same in the physical activities too. The extent to which you know how to set your program, accordingly, you should consider yourself to know how to set your stage. So if we are able to plan our activities well, if we are able to set a program well, then we will also be able to set ourselves in that stage, right? A very beautiful statement, and also a very beautiful point of reflection, point of checking that to what extent am I able to plan, and then to what extent am I able to execute, and then to what extent am I able to be in that stage, right? Further, Baba says, otherwise, if you do everything without a program, then just as everything is what it should be, in the same way, your stage also fluctuates. It is not set. Acha. So the Murli is quite short. In this 1 minute silence that we take, I would request you to take the word introvert. And what do you understand, or what do you think Baba refers to while using the word introvert? Keeping in mind these words that Baba has used, that by being introverted, you can create new inventions, okay? And then also thinking about, like, whenever people ask us about an introduction, how do we start mentioning about all the external factors, right? The name, the possessions, the profession, the job, everything. So just connecting these words, churning, would request you to churn on the points, like what do you mean by the word introvert, or what do you understand by it, right? So we shall just take a minute of silence, and then we shall share the points from the Murli. Cha. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. We can now unmute and share the points.
Om Shanti sister. Thank you, Baba, for the beautiful Murli. So when I listen to the word introvert, and when Baba says that you still have to be cheerful, so what I feel that Baba is trying to prepare us for Satyug. In Satyug also, we would be in consciousness that we are a soul and playing the role. That's it, that we are going to change this costume from time to time. So exactly that is what Baba is trying to prepare us. What I feel that you are a soul, stabilize yourself into your true form and then come into action. Then derive the joy of playing your role without getting involved or engaged or indulged into it. Thank you, sister.
Yes, yes, sister. Beautifully pointed out, and also wonderfully used words, without getting indulged, without getting engaged, and yet being introverted. Yes, very nice.
Om Shanti, very deep Murli, and focusing on the introversion. We can ask ourselves, what is my invention? Am I creating new inventions and new plans? And how powerful is my invention or the plan? Baba has given advantages of being underground. When Baba says the word underground, it basically means that beyond the ground. On the ground, there is a lot of sound, lot of matter, and lot of distractions. But when we go underground, we isolate from the external environment and attain solitude, that is silence. And in such a silence, we can do a lot of vichar sagar manthan and feel the nourishment from this vichar sagar manthan, which increases our power. And also, it's a method of safety from the obstacles. There won't be any obstacles like external vibrations, negativities will not touch you, the soul. So these advantages of underground. And another thing is the advantages of Baba said about the introversion, which are in the Murli. One churning which came out to my mind is that invention, they're all prefixed with in. That's the invention, introversion, introduction. So introduction means when we are going deep inside to the soul consciousness form, the point form, we are basically, concentrating ourselves, detaching from the external and coming to the internal. So what is the rate at which I am reaching inside? How much time that does it take? And giving an introduction, who am I? And who is the real me? I mean, that who am I and who is mine? Sarv Sambandh ek baap se on the point form. So, and the similar words are interior, injection, and intimation, information. All these words are also worth churning. They have a deep meaning, spiritual meaning. Om Shanti.
Yes, yes, very true. Yes, sister.
Om Shanti. I like the way Baba said that how can you plan and keep your intellect busy. Actually, the thing is, we do service, but only when we know about all the things about the plans, then only we bring those things into action. But when our actions get over, then we do not change or do not bring innovation in as to what has to be done next. So this is we do not accept the change. We just stick to what we were in the past, and so we become stubborn and we do not bring innovation, and that is why that is not being introverted. We are not able to plan anything new, and so we face a lot of loss. As Baba yesterday also said that you should not get angry, otherwise you will defame Baba. So, and actually, this quality should be developed by us now, but still, we Brahmins get angry in certain situations, and we do not come to know even in the subtle way how it comes into us. This is because we do not keep our intellects busy in planning new things. We do not accept the change. So, we should learn to mold ourselves according to the demands of the people around us and keep a big heart. This is the only way to bring about innovation. Om Shanti.
Yes, yes. Wonderfully shared, sister. And like the way you connected the word innovation as well. Once you get in, so it becomes easy to innovate. Yes, yes, sister. Please go ahead.
Sister, you asked us to really go on the word. And I was thinking all these words starts with in, I-N. So we know the basic thing over here itself is giving you a root in. Whether it is introversion or information or introduction, it's in. And if you see the word intro, the real meaning of the word intro is leading within. Introduction means leading within to know something about somebody. But when generally what we do with the word introversion, a person who's shy, who's unsociable, or who wants to be in his own feelings and all, we generally also call such a person, oh, he's an introvert. He doesn't like to really mix with the people outside. But Baba holds a different meaning over here. He gives us the first lesson, consciousness as a soul. Extrovert is dealing outward from the body, from my senses, from my eyes, from my lips. But here Baba is saying, instead of starting your journey, your talk, your action from the outside through your physical senses, go inside. So Baba talks about here our first lesson, soul conscious. He wants us to touch that inner power. Then you can go extrovert and express the power. So extrovert is just expressing the inner power according to Baba. So he also uses the word Baba. Sometimes he says, for this you have to be incognito. So when you are incognito, like he says, you are yesterday when he said, you are an incognito army. So incognito is what? It's something, it's not secret. It's going deep within, gathering my strength. And with that lovely inner strength, I not only understand myself, I also understand others. I don't find flaws in them. It makes me more and more introspective. So this is, I feel, is what is an approach what Baba is trying to bring about us when he says introvert.
Om Shanti. Yes, very, very well shared, sister. And you again brought up another word, incognito. Yes, Baba also mentions that, like I mentioned earlier as well, that, the task of bringing in the new world or bringing in a change is very subtle, is very incognito. And so the task of self-progress, self-analysis, self-change is also incognito. So you pointed out that very well. Thank you. Yes, anybody else would like to add on?
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Introversion, this came to my mind like going into a cave. And when we can experience, when we are in cave, there is nothing much to see. We are, all our organs are, inside the cave, and all the distractions will end, and there is nothing much to see, and we will be kind of forced to listen to our own intuitions, and therefore we should be able to experience more about what our inner mind want to say to ourselves. So this is introversion is more like experiencing ourselves in a cave also.
Yes, yes. Baba says this like Antar Mukta ki gufa. We call it in Hindi. So yes. Another statement that Baba said. Yes, Madhu sister, you would like to share.
Om Shanti Didi. Beautiful Murli, and beautifully read and explained also in between, and all the deep points, very deep points everybody has discussed. But I would like only to add that how easily Baba makes us understand. And like mother says, na beta, ye to 1 minute ka kaam, 1 second ka. Baba is saying here, even 1-2 minutes are also too long, na? So he's making us very easy and making us explain you can do and you should do. Like we are also new children. So for us, it has become very easy, like Baba is explaining, no? Om Shanti.
Yes, yes. Baba gives us the authority, right? You don't have to take too long. It has to be within a few seconds. Oh, yes, yes. Brother, Vinod, brother, you raised your hand. You would like to share?
Yes, thank you, Sister Om Shanti. Good morning. Here I wondered the word Antar Ganga, it is again deep within, it's the underground water. Ganga, Gyan ki Ganga. Like once we are underneath ourselves and we turn the points of Baba, we get such pleasure. We all must be experiencing that pleasure on a day-to-day basis when we listen to Avyakt Murli. So such अंतर में ज्ञान की बातें चलती रहेंगी. That gives us that intoxication and cheerfulness, I feel, and that cannot prevent our face from expressing that smile or cheerfulness to the outside world. And at the same time, I feel people who are sometimes very silent look very toxic from outside, because their faces do not talk and remain expressionless. But I wonder, whenever we churn Baba's Murli within ourselves, we cannot prevent ourselves from expressing that joy over the face. So introversion and extroversion are definitely related with respect to Baba's skin. I strongly believe that, sister. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Yes, yes. Yes, Raki sister.
Harpreet, then you can go ahead.
Yeah. Om Shanti. I was listening to all the beautiful expressions of the Divine Family, and it's so nice that so many words with "in" came out. And ironically, my mind went to a film which was made. I don't know if you have seen that. It's an English movie, a cartoon film actually, Inside Out. I don't know how many of you have seen it. It's so beautifully captured in the comic way, the life journey of going in, experiencing those different attributes of joy, happiness, sadness, all the different emotions, anger, etc. And then how that gets related to the out, which is the everyday life. And I think it depicted it in a very nice way. I would recommend you see it as a movie in a casual way. And like everybody said, the in and the out are actually kind of connected. And my personal practical experience with other people has been the people who are the quietest, either they are a powerful source of strength to everybody around, or they are the ones who are the most manipulative. This has been my practical experience, and I may, maybe others may or may not have gone through it. The people, in fact, who go inside and also come out, who share, who speak, are the ones who are generally saying what is within. And, you can relate to them, you can trust them because they speak. At least you know what's going on in their lives. And the ones who are only silent, they're like an enigma. They could be either extreme. And when I was listening to this Murli, I was thinking about that. Maybe that's the reason Baba, in one way, is telling us to be introverted, to reflect, but he's also telling us to share, to spread the message. And I think that inside-out connection, we need both, I think. That's just my thought. Om Shanti.
Yes, yes, sister, very true. Baba, pointed out that, okay, that you're being an introvert, but along with that, he mentioned 3 other things. You have to be cheerful, and then you have to be an image of attraction as well. So yes, that is quite true to some extent, that, a few people, if they are silent, their silence creates a very heavy atmosphere. So that is not being introvert. Yes, Raki sister.
Baba speaks about being introvert and going underground, and then he gives what shows up once you come from the space of being introvert. And I could only relate to a living example of a tree. The seed is underground and the tree spreads up. And the tree spreads up with its generosity, with its beauty, and brings lightness in the environment. That's the connection between being an introvert and then coming from the space of introvert and expressing your own self. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister. I like the example of Raki Ben. As she said about the tree, you cannot just water the leaf and branches of a tree. You have to go to the roots to water it. So the tree also takes its energy, its everything, not from that water which you have put on the leaf outside, but it takes it from right down the roots where you have put the tree. Just like if you want to explore when in a storm and all, they say go to the ocean bed and go and see the unknown, unseen world. Sister, you were talking about invention because Baba mentions about invention. If you could just understand what is that invention which actually, what is invention? Now, if you see the difference between discovery and invention means new, fresh, not something which already exists, something new. So Baba also says when you've gone underground, your invention, you should find out something new. It should be something fresh. Like it should not be an escapism. We should not say, oh, if I cannot control the outside situation, let me go inside. It's not even sometimes like a guard. It is something going down. I remember how when we were small, we were taught how Archimedes in his bathtub, suddenly he shouts, Eureka, Eureka, he found. What was that process with which he did? Going within, even when he was having his bath. So anytime I can go in introversion, it's not that I should sit in yoga, sit in there. It's just a mental process. So I just wanted to understand that real invention, what are the ingredients? What is the method which is happening within? Of course, Srimat is there and Baba's power is there. But if suppose we could get some more points on what real invention takes place as Baba mentions when we do Antarmukta. Om Shanti.
Okay, so anybody would like to share on this or to answer to sister's question? Anyone?
Probably the invention of new ideas and way of creating new services. I would like to share here, sister, with my idea at the moment. I said Antar Ganga, Gyan Ki Ganga, and sister said it is the seed and the tree. So Gyan Ki Ganga से अपनी आत्मा को अगर हम water करते हैं, we grow as a tree and bear fruits. So such kind of probable ideas and connections we make, and probably that could help us to sustain. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Yes, brother.
Om Shanti. Baba had spoken about in one of the Avet Murli earlier ones, is that the deeper we go into we pick up one or two virtues and go deeper into that virtue, then we find the power, and that virtue becomes embodiment, and we are able to speak about that virtue. So in my view, in my opinion, this invention is about, there are 7 virtues. We go deeper into these virtues and find how it, connects with how I become an embodiment of this virtue, and how does it connect with the role which I am playing outside. Deep inside, I have the power to be this virtue, to be the embodiment of this virtue. So I think that invention Baba talks about, there's a n number of ways in which we can relate these virtues to each other, and find the treasures, the nourishment, and the happiness, real happiness. Om Shanti.
Yes, very true. For me personally, it is like self-analysis, going down, going into the deeper aspects, checking slightly where am I lacking, and then coming out with maybe a few points from the Murli that can help, or maybe practicing points of self-respect. But I personally feel bored out when I quite only repeat out points. So that's what I feel Baba wanted to share, that, once you are introverted, you sort of go on churning well, with the point. You can then play with that point, just say Hindi mein Baba says that Gyan Ratno se khelna hai. Okay, so that becomes quite helpful when you just catch up a point that Baba has shared and utilize it to bring about self-progress, to utilize it for self-analysis, and then come up with your practice that, what suits me the best. I cannot merely just sit and say that, okay, I'm a soul. I can't do that all the time. Nobody can do that. So that is what I believe Baba wanted to share, that, you can take up not merely too many points, but just merely one point that could help you out, and then go into the deeper aspects, analyze that well. So these are like pearls, the pearls of knowledge. So it is like playing with these pearls. So that is what I believe. Okay. Anybody would like to add on, or?
Om Shanti, sister and divine family. Thank you very much. These are excellent points. I love example of seed and tree. It's easy for me to understand, but sometimes it becomes difficult for me. But that was easy example. For me, at my personal level, my personal invention, I just want to clarify if I'm on right track. I have given myself a goal that I like to see myself, my new model, within 4 years. New model of myself is I have given a logo HSP4. H stands for happy, healthy, wealthy, successful, and powerful. 4 years, forever, always. Because when I did my introspection, going inside, what do I really want? Why I am not happy all the time? Why I become upset when, even in my family, I become unstable. When life throws some challenges, I'm not able to handle at all. Why I'm so attached? So to myself, this is my personal invention and I'm working towards it. It is a long-term process to understand where do I need to repair myself, polish myself, and remodel myself. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Sister, can you give us a nice guideline or meditation for the second paragraph? How do I program my introversion? I think that's what we need. We know everything about introversion. If you could really take us the program of going within.
Om Shanti. I think let each one of us take this homework of going introvert and find that journey for ourselves, because it's going to be our own journey. In the interest of time, Deepika Ben, can we move on to meditation?
Yes, sure, sister. We can do that. Om Shanti. Let's sit back quietly, backing up the external senses and moving inwards. I visualize myself, realize myself, my true identity, my true form. And this drags me deeper within to the essence of my own qualities, essence of my own nature, essence of my beauty. Inside, there is calm. There is solitude within. I check my own self. deeper down, introspecting the real me in the incognito way. I take up this practice for the entire day, that I will stick to the essence, that I will stick to my own innate values, my qualities, qualities of the soul, qualities of the inner being. And as I move throughout the day today, whilst being an introvert, I visualize myself spreading joy silently, making the environment powerful silently, and moving in, moving out in silence, just with my own self, with the essence of my innate virtues. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Deepika Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. We shall meet tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.